Hi there. In this latest Blue Soul Shoes video, I wanted to bring you here that this is a lay-by. You can probably see it around you. This is a lay-by in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the countryside, about 2 or 3 miles from where I live. And the reason I'm doing this Blue Soul Shoes video from here is because this is the place when I went through one of the most challenging times during my mental health crisis. And if it's okay with you, I want to share that and what I went through. And then I want to talk about how, if you're going through that, or you know someone that's going through that, some tips and advice that you or they can use. And so I'll start by going back to when I was 2 or 3 months into feeling pretty wretched. And I remember it was a Monday and I was at home at about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening. My daughter was at dance class. My little boy was downstairs playing with his mate. Sharon was in the kitchen. I was upstairs on the bed. And I was feeling rancid. I was full of anxiety. I was full of depression. I just didn't know what to do with myself. And to feel like that is bad enough. To feel like that at home, as many of you know, is just awful, because home is so often that place of safety. And I lay there and thought, I just need to get away from this. I just need to go somewhere. Didn't know where. I just felt like I needed to go somewhere to get away from what felt like physical pain. So I got in the car and I reversed out the drive and I just drove. I drove hoping to find somewhere where I would feel better. And that place doesn't exist. Of course it doesn't. You take your depression, you take your anxiety with you. And I ended up here in this lay-by, and I pulled over and just sat here. I just sat here and nobody knew I was here. And I sat here and just felt really broken. I just sat here and didn't know what to do with myself. I had moments of great upset. And then I had moments of what felt like serenity and calm. But I just felt so up and down. And if I'm honest with myself, what I really wanted was for someone to come along. For someone to come along, to tap on the window and to say, mate, I've got this. I'm going to sort this. And they screw my head off and they go into my brain and they make it all better and they screw my head back on and leave me and I'm well again. And that's not real. Of course it's not. That's not the world we live in. But you become so desperate to get better. And it was a pretty awful time to sit here and feel like I was that lonely, because I went from one to the other extreme. I went from that very childlike, please come and rescue me, to that very parental, critical parental view of, you shouldn't feel like this. You're only 51, you're physically fit, you've got a beautiful wife, you've got lovely children, you've got a gorgeous home, you've got a business you're proud of. You shouldn't feel like this. And I know those of you out there that are going through any sort of mental health challenges will know what that's like. And what I wanted to share with you from this awful experience that I had, and to hopefully help you or others you may know, is some stuff that I learned during some of my psychotherapy. And it's based on something called transactional analysis, which is evidence-based psychotherapy. And what that's about is, it explains that as humans, as grown-ups, we behave in one of 3 ways. We either behave in a childlike way, in an adult way, or in a parental state, one of the 3. Now, what we aim for is to be in that adult state. That's the place to be, in that adult state, where we're problem solving and we're dealing with each day at a time. Of course, it's okay every now and then we become children, have a giggle at silly stuff, don't we? Or we have to give ourselves a talking to in the parental state, and we need bits of those to be joined up people. Otherwise, we're an adult all the time and we're just like a computer. When mental illness comes, when you're challenged by things like anxiety and depression, it's really easy to slip into the child state or the parental state. Now, the child state is stuff that we learn as children. And unfortunately, we take some of that behaviour with us. And I experienced being in the child state quite a lot. So I wanted rescuing. I didn't think it was my responsibility. I wanted someone to come and help me. And that's when I sat here and said, please someone, in my head, please someone come and rescue me. I can't do this on my own. And while that's understandable, that's not a helpful place to be in. And then if you're not careful, you lurch straight to the critical parent and you tell yourself off. You shouldn't feel like this. I've done something it's my fault. I can only blame myself. I've worked too hard. I've pushed too hard. I've got so much in my life I should be grateful for. I should just pull myself together. And when you lurch from the parent to the child, it's really destructive. It makes you feel worse. It increases your depression. It increases your anxiety. And so the advice I give you is, even if it's just for a few moments each day, because please, there is no silver bullet for bad mental health. There isn't. It's small, gradual steps to get better. That's what I've learned, is that even if it's just for a few moments every day, you need to fight to get yourself into the adult and get into that problem-solving mode. And I worked really hard, and some days it didn't work, but some days it did, where I said to myself, you are feeling awful. You've got depression and you've got anxiety. And that's okay, because lots of people go through it and it's not your fault. Ash, you've not done anything to bring this on. This stuff just happens. And you are getting help. You will sort this and you will beat this. You are getting help. You are seeing people, and people want you to get better. Now, that's only words, and you can say that once and it doesn't necessarily make you feel any better. But that consistency of just giving yourself some repeated positive adult message every day is what it's about when you start getting better. It's like how mountains are created. No one sees them moving, but the final product is this amazing, strong, robust mountain. And that's what I want you to be. And that's where I'm heading towards, because I've been doing this now for so long. And I didn't tell myself those messages when I sat here in this lay-by. I wish I had. And I've had to gradually tell myself that each day. And even if you're not getting help and you feel in a really bad place, the adult message is, I can get help for this. I will seek help to get better, because help is out there in many, many different forms. So if you are going through or have been through anything like I've shared in this video, I'm genuinely really sorry, because it's horrible. It's horrible. There's those of us out there that have been through it, and we're with you. And if you are still going through a tough time, even if it feels quite light or if it feels really heavy, do what you can each day just to try and get into the adult just for a few moments each day, and it will start to gradually make a difference. I hope that's helpful.